decorate a Falloween tree. Oh, wait, we've still got Easter up though. That's okay, we'll have it down in a snap. If only undecorating were really that easy. As a matter of fact, even that snap transition wasn't that easy. So you may be wondering, what is a Falloween tree? Is it really just a mashup of fall and Halloween? Yes it is. You may also be wondering, has she really had her Easter tree up this entire time? Yes I have. If you've been around my channel for a while, first of all, hi, welcome back. But then you already know how much I love decorating for the holidays. I decorate lots of trees and other things around my house for Christmas. I've done a Valentine's tree, an Easter tree, I did a ghost tree last year, and I have videos up for lots of those here on YouTube. But this year I wanted to add an additional tree that could go in this space and be part of the backdrop for my video conference calls for work, because I am still working from home most of the time, and my coworkers have kind of come to expect having a tree in the background. But because it's going to be in the background, I wanted to keep it a little bit sophisticated. And because it's going to be in this space, I wanted it to tie to the colors in here. So I'm opting for some of the richer, deeper tones of fall, and then I'll add in a few more Halloween type things, but keeping those a little bit more subtle. But before we get started, if you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Catherine, and I love to make videos on decorating for the holidays. I also love to make videos on fashion and beauty, so if you like any or all of those topics, then I hope you'll consider subscribing. But whether you're new or not, I really would appreciate it if you'd like this video. First of all, it makes me feel great when you do, and it's also really helpful here on YouTube. Now let's go ahead and start decorating. Since of course the tree is already set up, then I don't have to worry about that. So my first step is going to be inserting all of the kind of interior filler and extra lights that I want. But my preference is to actually do this while I'm setting up the tree if the tree's not already been set up. So I've got two different fillers, or the same one, they're just different sizes. It's Deco Mesh, and I'm going to run this on the interior up the tree so it just adds a little bit of bulk and keeps it so that your eyes don't really see through. I don't expect you'll actually be able to see this, it's just to help provide that visual barrier. And then a lot of times for my trees, I like to add additional lights and, maybe get them in, something like a blinking or kind of twinkling light, especially like on my Christmas trees. So I thought I would give that a try on this one, but quite frankly, I'm not sure if I'm going to end up liking this. So I did pick up these purple lights, and they actually have a bunch of different flashing functions, so once I get them in, I'll see which one I want. I'm just not sure if I'm going to like the color, but these lights are actually the same set that I use on all of my Christmas trees, but I get those in a warm white, so I decided to try the purple. These are from Amazon as well, and I'll link to these. I will go ahead and link down in the description box to any items that you can purchase online. Everything that I've bought has come from either Amazon or Hobby Lobby. So now I've got my interior filler and lights on the tree, and I still don't know what I think about the lights, so they're just going to stay on until the very end, and if I don't end up liking them, then I just won't plug them in. So now let's talk a minute more about the theme before I start working on the next step, which is the tree topper. So I mentioned earlier that I really wanted to pull in the really rich and dark hues of fall that kind of lend themselves to a little bit more of Halloween as well. So here I'm showing a shot of all of the supplies that I bought for kind of the main part of the tree and the tree topper. So I have a lot of burgundies and crimsons and deep purples and even a little bit of black. But I also didn't want the tree to get too dark, so I am going to be throwing in more orange, natural colors, even a little bit of kind of cream or almost white. You'll also notice that some of the items still have their tags on them. That's because there's a couple of things that I'm not quite sure, but I went ahead and got them, and they're from Hobby Lobby, so it'll be easy to return in case I don't like them. And then I also got a couple of fun kind of Halloween type accents with the black and white theme and kind of the buffalo check. So the next step for me is going to be my tree topper, and I'm going to stick with the style that I like best, which is to have something coming out of the top and giving a lot of height, but also fullness. So that's what I'm going to be doing. If that's not your style, you can take some of these thoughts and kind of adjust them to how you like to do it. I think these are the materials that I'm going to use for the tree topper though, so we'll see once I actually get doing it. I may adjust some things, add some other things, but I found this neat, I guess it's kind of like a pampas grass or something. I did get it in 3 different colors, but after playing with it, I think I want to do the darkest one on the interior. And then these pods, I really liked the kind of curly, willowy shape. They just seemed a little haunted to me, so I've got these in a couple of different colors that I'll just alternate around. Then I didn't want it getting too dark, so I also got these kind of natural, almost like a raffia type material thing that you can kind of pull apart. It's got some more curly, so I can fill in, I think, with those really easily to make sure that nothing's getting too dark at the top. And then at the bottom, as I'm transitioning into the tree, I got some different colored sunflowers that I'm going to use. So once again, I've got several different colors, so I may adjust from there depending on what I think it needs. I do also have some buffalo plaid ribbon that I may end up throwing in around the top, but if I do, I'll do that as a transition from the top actually into the rest of the tree. And I'll use brown pipe cleaners to actually tie these stems to the top of the tree for my topper. Idea of the tree topper figured out. You may have noticed that I did add in some of these smaller berries to help fill it out, and I did end up using the white sunflowers, and I have it pretty close to what I think I'm gonna like. But if you've seen my videos before, then you know that I don't really fuss too much with trying to get everything perfect in each step until I get to the very end, because once I see the rest of the tree, I may decide that, you know, I want a different type of balance at the top. So I try to stay pretty flexible. So now we're going to move on more to the exterior filler types of items for the tree. And so I did want to just show this. It's a garland that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. And I had an idea of what I was wanting for this tree ahead of time, but I couldn't really quite see it coming together in my head yet. And so when I went to the store and just started browsing around, I saw this and was really excited because it really kind of encompassed what I was looking for. So I did get one of these with the intent to cut this up into maybe 1-foot sections and then just place them in the tree at different points. This was pretty expensive though, so you know, I don't know that I think that you have to do this to get that kind of look, but because it really just cemented the whole idea in my mind, I did decide I wanted one. So I'll use wire cutters to cut it up. So hopefully you can see that I was placing those sections, that I did do it in a little bit of a staggered pattern. And because I didn't have a lot of them, I did focus it on the sides of the tree that were going to be most seen, which is the front and this side because of my video conference calls. So I really like how that's looking. I have a few more, you know, just kind of single pumpkins and some other things that I can place in, but I'm going to hold those off until a little later because this looks like a beautiful fall tree, but I want to make sure that I'm getting some of that Halloween feel in. So now I'm going to move on to a couple of the more kind of Halloween color type things. So I'm going to go ahead and place this garland in, and this is one of the items I wasn't entirely sure if I'm going to keep, so we'll kind of play around with it, but I think I need to start putting it in at this point. So because it's so flexible, I think I'm going to kind of snake it in maybe in a little bit opposite pattern of where I put these sections, and I think that'll probably end up working well. The other thing I'm going to start doing is weaving some of my black and white check ribbon in, and I did pick this up from Amazon. It's wired, so you can, you know, kind of flex it really easily. And what I'm going to do, I have a nice 10-yard roll. What I'm going to do is probably cut off into sections that are maybe 2 feet, 3 feet long, and I'm just gonna start looping and kind of pulling in and out, but creating the shorter sections is going to make it easier for me to control. And so where these things were kind of going horizontally, I'm going to start incorporating a little bit more vertical with the ribbon. So one of the techniques I was using as I was placing the ribbon was actually taking the ribbon and pinching it and creating a couple of loops, basically similar to what you would do if you were making a bow. And that was because I was finding that this ribbon, even though it's wired, wasn't holding its shape quite as easily as I wanted. This ribbon probably isn't the greatest quality in the world, and that's okay. I'm not focused on being as economical as possible, but we all have budgets. So I just adapted and worked with what I had, and I think it worked perfectly. I mean, I don't think you can tell that the ribbon is inexpensive and wasn't holding its shape on its own. The other thing I was doing was using the branch tips to help hold it in place, which is a trick that I've used on other trees as well. Now we're getting to what I think is the most fun part of the tree decorating experience, and that's putting on what I'll call the decorations. I don't have like actual ornaments for this tree. Instead, what I'm considering decorations are going to be the stems of either, dried things, flowers, sprays, pumpkins, berries, etc. to help fill out the tree. So I still have a good bit of stuff. I have flowers in several different colors. I have a few more of the red and white and purple that I used up around the top. I've got more things that are like greenery, except these are that nice dark purple. I've got something that kind of approximates baby's breath, spiky things. I've got these neat pumpkins and more of these raffia things, but in a little bit more of an auburn color. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is create a few clusters that allow me to fill up some big spaces and really have some stuff kind of cascading out of the tree to give it just a little bit more bulk and make it just a little bit bigger of a tree. So I think probably for that I'm going to take a few of my stems, such as the check pumpkins and these spiky things, maybe add some berries and then grab a pumpkin, grab a flower, and create something like that. And then I can put this in the tree, and this will be great for spots that really could use kind of something big. I'll probably create maybe 5, 7 of those. You always do things in odd numbers typically in decorating. I'll probably do somewhere around there. And if I need to, I'll use more pipe cleaners to affix the stems together, but I may also be able to just run them along the spine of the branches. And then I'll take the rest of the items that I have more singles of at that point, or maybe 2s and 3s, and you just fill in the smaller bits with just those singles, or maybe pair 2 or 3 things together at that point. So I'll do that, and once again I'll just stagger as I'm working these clusters of things. I'll just stagger around the tree and then come in, fill in with the singles. Really close to the end now, and the only things that I have not used are these 2 colors of that pampas grass and then these 2 bushy stalks. So at this point I don't know that I'm going to use either of these, so we're going to probably consider these returned. But I have taken a moment to step back and assess the tree and kind of move some things around. Or tweak some things. I haven't actually moved that much. I did add a couple of the darker raffia stems up to the top just to help fill that out and balance out some of the color. And I moved a couple of the flowers around where I felt like I had too much of one color in one spot. And then I have done just a lot of tweaking to pull things out, push things in to try to give good balance to the tree. So what I do have remaining are just a couple of more ornamental kinds of things that really would make this a little bit more Halloween. And both of these were things that I was really on the fence about whether I would even use. I got both of them from Amazon. These little skulls are very lightweight, and so I thought if I really want to kind of up the creep factor, you know, I could take the skulls and just kind of stick them in, and I've got 6 total of those. And then I also have these crows or ravens that have nice little wire feet, and I actually ordered a couple of different types off of Amazon, and these were the best quality ones, and they weren't that expensive. And so I ended up getting a second set of those, so I have 6 of these as well. And I thought those would be kind of nice just to maybe perch at the end of a branch to give it a little bit of a Halloween feel. Once again, though, this is not too Halloween, so I kind of like the idea of those. So I'm going to place all of that and see what I think, and maybe ask your opinion too, because obviously these are things that are easy enough to take on and off. So let me get those placed and we'll see what we think. Now with the birds and skulls up, I definitely like the birds because they just add a little something. Still a little iffy about the skulls. I actually don't mind them that much because I decorate with skulls all around my house around Halloween, but I just don't know if it really fits the theme of the tree. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave me a comment down below and let me know yay or nay for the skulls. Also, yay or nay for the purple lights. As the tree has gotten flushed out a little bit more, I actually like the lights better and better because you don't really see them because I've got so much stuff on the tree. So they just add a faint twinkle on the inside without being quite so obvious what's providing that. So I'm kind of liking them, but I'd love to know your opinion on that too. So now we're going to finish off the tree with the tree skirt. And I just picked up this black and white check blanket from Amazon as well. It was less than $15, and it'll be super useful as just a blanket when I'm not using it with this tree. So I'm going to arrange this underneath. I'll probably also grab some things from my existing Halloween and fall decorations to place under the tree. I just haven't gone through all of that stuff over in my storeroom yet. So by the time I'm showing the final tree, I'll probably also have staged it with some items just so the tree doesn't look so bare. So here is the finished tree. I really am happy with how it turned out. This is very much the style that I do no matter what the season is. These are the types of items that I like to incorporate. So I really have gotten a lot better through the years at being able to pick out what kinds of things I think I'm going to want to use, how much of it I need, etc. Even then, though, you saw I sometimes still overbuy a little bit because I can't quite do it all in my head, and I sometimes might want to try something a little bit new on the tree. But I hope this has given you some great ideas if you're planning to decorate for either a fall, Halloween, or now maybe a Falloween tree, of some things that you can do. And even if this isn't quite to your taste, or you don't like this amount of stuff for the tree topper, I think some of the concepts are really translatable to other styles and other types of decor as well. Now would be a great time to go ahead and subscribe if you're not already. I'll have a lot more holiday content coming up over the next few months. Also, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really is helpful to me on YouTube, and it just makes me feel good. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye.